If you are like most of shoppers these days, you have probably spent hours and hours online looking through lists of houses, pretty pictures, wonderful layouts of their floor plans, beautiful photos of backyards, all of this eye candy. You probably have woken up and looked through those lists, driven home and scrolled through those lists, and even did it while you're sitting in the kitchen trying to eat your dinner. Those lists are truly addictive. In this video, though, I will do something really radical and show you how not to spend hours and hours looking at houses online. Take a shortcut and create a customized list of houses instead. My name is Elena Garrett. I am a realtor with Keller Williams Central 75 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, and this is another podcast with Elena. All right, let's cut to the chase. I beg you, stop spending hours online. Find a more productive way to spend your time. Zillow, Homes.com, Facebook Marketplace, they are an eye candy, but they're wasteful. They're really wasteful with your time. Have you noticed that? Why? Well, because they are very generic. Why are they generic? Well, they're trying to appeal to the most number of people, but you are not all of the people. You're a very specific person with your own very specific requests and needs and tastes. When you were making a list of things that you want to see in your house, they were probably very specific, like I want to have a large master bedroom, and I want to have a large backyard, and I want to have a gas stove, and I want to have great school area and high appreciation. All of those things were very specific. Can you find those items? Can you find those criterias on Facebook Marketplace or on Zillow or on Realtor.com? If you can't, then I will be honest with you and I'll give you a secret. You are wasting your time. You're wasting your time on looking at generic lists instead of looking through specific lists. Okay, what is the solution? See, I will just bore you for 5 minutes, so it's going to be a boring 5 minutes, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you want to get to a specific list, you will have to skip the fun looking websites and you will have to go to a very boring website called Multiple Listing Service or MLS. That is actually the original source from which all of the other websites get their information. All the other websites just basically open up a channel to MLS and download a small portion of the information that's available in MLS, and that is what you call your list of homes and your great entertainment. But in reality, the original source is what you don't see. So what you don't see in those websites, fun websites that we're looking at very often, is all of these controls. These controls are available to you. Well, they're available to somebody who has access to MLS, but they're not available on Zillow or on Facebook Marketplace, for example. And those controls are what makes your home actually click with what you're trying to do. How would you, so in my opinion, just to wrap it up, the solution to the problem, or if you think there is a problem, but the solution to you not spending so much time looking through useless lists of houses is to create a useful list of houses. And a useful list of houses will be granular and reflecting the parameters that are important to you. How would you get a list of houses like that, you ask? That's a great question. The only people who have true access to MLS are realtors. And being a realtor, I have that access. I am willing to help you to get part of that access by setting up a list of houses that you want to see using my MLS access. So for example, if you give me specific property requirements and they're not too burdensome, like up to 20, I can definitely set up a search for you, and that search will show only those houses that check off all, and I mean all, of the parameters that you provided to me with. This list is not something that you're able to generate yourself, unfortunately, because you don't have the login to the database, but I can generate for you. The cost, it will take me about maybe between 20 minutes and an hour, depending on the complexity of your research. So there is no cost to you, although it's not definitely free for me, but I'm willing to share it with you for free because I really, really want you to be successful in what you're trying to accomplish. And to be successful, you need to have better tools. And MLS is a much better tool than any other database that you have access currently. Let's say that I'll take an example. If you send me a list that says, I want this kind of a house, and those are like 10 or 11 requirements that you put in there, I will go and I will take each one of those requirements and put them into MLS and generate a list of homes that fit each one of those requirements, and I'll send that list back to you. How would it look like? Well, let me give you an example of how a long useless list can shrink very significantly once you start putting very specific criteria into it. Let me just give you an example. I took this list as an example. I didn't even know if it's going to provide me with any kind of output, and this is what I got. We're experimenting together. So this list right here, 350K, FHA financing, Frisco and Plano ISD, not HOA, 1970s or later, pool, deck, gas, not a corner lot, and 1 story. Let's begin. So when I first started, and this is actually, you're seeing my login to MLS. My MLS is right there. You see how granular it is? So I started by putting in just simply the Frisco ISD and Plano ISD, and that it is a 350 minus type of property and 3-bedroom, 2-bath. 1970s plus, 1,500 square foot plus, and 2-car garage. This is pretty much all that I have put in for now. And right now, oops, I'm losing my earpiece. Right now, I have 35 matches to those requirements. But you know what? You can do those kind of requirements in Zillow too, can't you? So let's see what we can do once we start to become more granular. I started to put in the no corner lot, the no HOA, the pool requirement, and the FHA financing requirement. And within a few seconds, I got this number. Zero matches. Out of 35 homes, not a single one was able to match even 7 out of 11 parameters that I was working with. The major obstacles were pool on the property and FHA financing. FHA financing is actually not that easy to find. But anyhow, you can see how a great list of houses, 35 houses, it's lots of eye candy. In reality, there were zero useful information in it. None of those houses would match the requirements that my buyers wanted to have or you wanted to have. So that is kind of the value of the list. It allows you to skip a lot of noise that those pictures generate and lets you cut to the chase. Are there any homes right now that match your criteria? At this moment, no, but maybe tomorrow there will come one. But it will be 1 or 2 instead of 35 or 135. How much time could you spend not looking at those useless houses online and actually doing something useful, like applying for a home loan or collecting documents for your loan, for example? It's up to you. Some people find that looking at houses online is more appealing than collecting documents for a home loan. Alrighty, and all joking aside, how would you request that list? Well, go ahead and start by going to elenagarrett.com/list. This is the page where I created for my clients to use so they could access my list or they could set up my list. And on that page, just click on any image or any link. They all go to the same time. There will be a form. Fill out that form, and then once I receive that form, I'll go to work and go through the process like this to find a house that match all of those parameters. Then you should be receiving within 24 hours, you should be receiving a list of houses that match all of your parameters. I'll just let you know that there are no houses match your parameters, who knows. But within 24 hours, I typically able to compile that list and send it back to you. Then go ahead and review the property that you received just to make sure that the parameters are indeed matching. And then if you think that any of those houses you're ready to go see, let me know. I will be happy to show you any of those houses. So I'm kind of all in one service. You can find the houses through me. You can see the houses through me. You can actually put it under contract through me at no cost to you, at no time. No matter what we do, my services are free to you. Okay, so how would you put in a request for a specific type of property? Well, this is the website where you're going to land. And on that website, you're going to see number of bedrooms, preferred home location. Now, when you say preferred home location, just don't tell me the entire, like all of it. Don't say all of it. All of it is what? Give me some parameters like Collin County, Dallas County. Preferred price range. If you don't know your preferred price range, just look at your maximum maximum loan amount and then use that number. But if you do have a preferred price range, give me a range like 250 through 300. This way I can see where your comfort zone is. Specific house features. So if you want a pool, if you want a big backyard, or you want a storage shed or a workshop, or maybe you want a barn on a property, put all of that information, specific features, and you can keep typing in that field. Even though it looks tiny, you can type quite a bit in there. And then the question is, do you have a financing arranged? That kind of plays into, not all houses can fund with every, some loans only can fund certain types of houses. So the financing that you have will help me to narrow the list of houses down even more. That's about it. Now, bonus tip for those of you who stuck with me that far, going back to the property financing. The question, the reason that I added that question in it is because it really can kill, or it can narrow down and shrink your list significantly. If you don't know your loan type, so make sure that you put it in. Some people don't feel comfortable disclosing their loan type, but trust me, during your search, you're going to have to disclose it anyway, and you might just as well skip all the houses that will not fit your loan type. If you don't have your information about your loan type, if you just don't have your loan approval documents yet, that's okay. Just fill in the rest of the descriptions, and we will work on, with what we have. Ooh, creative financing. If you are looking for, I call creative financing, but usually those are rent to owns or seller financing. If you don't use that list quite yet, we will use that list a bit later. But before you use that list to find a rent to own or seller financing, if you would watch, go to my YouTube channel and watch 7 steps system video that I put together in there. And then use the form first to analyze your options, because seller financing, rent to own are a little bit more tricky. And I would need to analyze some additional data for you before we can get started. I'm going to put that information into the YouTube description below. So when you're looking at the video, open the YouTube description so you can see the entire description. And this way you can see whatever links I was able to capture in the YouTube description. Alrighty, I feel like I have been talking for over an hour. Are we done yet? Yes, we're done. We're done with the topic. Coming up next, finding houses in A+ school areas. So if you have kids and you want to be near or within the the range of a specific school. For example, you say, I want to have the elementary schools to have a rating of B plus or higher, and I want to have my middle school to have a rating of A minus or higher. I can definitely work with you to put together a list of houses like that. That's a little bit more tricky because MLS does not analyze this school school ranking, but I have found a way. It's like a hack I created to use MLS to trick MLS into doing that search anyway. I'm going to put together a video on it because so many people are asking for properties in great school areas. Also, coming up, do's and don'ts of applying for a home mortgage. Oh, so many people try to apply for a home mortgage only to be bitterly disappointed, not because they don't qualify, but because they made some mistakes during the process. If you don't want to miss those videos, click subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And the minute that I upload those videos, they will be available to you. I am so looking forward to you getting the keys to your own house. You cannot even imagine, I get excited every time. Stick with me. I'm going to get you through the program. Start by looking at the house that you see available online. Contact me to create a more specific list. And then within, as soon as you're ready, we're going to get you in the house. Thank you so much, and I'll see you at the next video.